Hey, how y'all doing? Welcome to Wait a Minute, my video, my thoughts, and I'm sharing them with you. So yeah, don't judge me for crazy hair. I just had a quick do this morning with a little bit of water and a whole lot of Gorilla Snot. Yes, that's really the name in case you didn't know. I didn't know when it first came out, or when I first realized what it is. Anyway, that's your beauty tip for today. Let me move on. So stupid. So I just set off the alarm. I feel really dumb. It only went for like a couple seconds, but still, it's enough. Dumb. But anyways, I wanted to talk to you guys about you know what? Skip that. I'm going to save that for a different day. I'm going to talk about the alarm I just set off. How about that? Yep. Very spontaneous. Hope I don't screw it up. It's always spontaneous. What am I saying? So anyways, yeah, I set that alarm off and just came to my mind how I can use that, what that means to me today. So what happened was the garage door opener that I usually use is missing. And I don't use the garage door often, and I thought, well, what if I push the button and then run under the door? Nope, because there's a safety measure on there that makes the door open back up if something goes under it. So there's that. And then I go barreling into the house and set off the alarm. I don't know if it was the garage door or the door, but I think it was the garage door because it was already started to do its little alarm sound noisy thing. And so I had to put in the code and feel like a dummy, but that's okay because I made a mistake. Little alarm went off. That's cool. So, can you see where this is going yet? I was just thinking about, our lives. A few guys and I started refreshing and rededicating our hearts and lives to God. And it has been so good. Like I said before, my last weekend was up north in a super cool place, and my buddy Josh and I had like an amazing spiritual retreat all weekend long. I mean, from the minute we drove out of my driveway to the minute we pulled back in, it was amazing and very, very spiritual. Lots of cool things happen. I don't even know if I'll be able to tell you that ever, but it was cool. Anyway, so, and then some other guys and I, we have a small group going, and we've been just, reaching out to God because He's always reaching out to us. We've been reaching out to Him lately. And it's been so amazing. I know of at least 2 or 3 stories from the guys, and then a whole bunch of stories from me about how all the little things that God's throwing in our lives to, show us stuff, teach us stuff. I don't mean bad things necessarily, just things where He shows up, And it's been really cool. By the way, the guys could be having more moments than they're telling me, but I tell everything. They might not be telling about the little tiny things, but I can see God all around. I can see Him doing things all around, and they all add up. So let's go back to the garage door and the alarm. So many of us, especially when you're in the position I am right now, where you're refreshed, you're ready to go, you're doing your thing, and yet you might veer off in places, especially if you're giving up things or trying to quit bad habits or bad whatever. It's kind of hard sometimes, and you slip sometimes, and different things happen. But when you're searching for God and God's searching for you, and you guys are going this life together, which is what we should be doing, all of us, then there's like something that people don't realize a lot of times. We used to call it conviction when we were in the church I was growing up. That sounds really bad, but technically that's what it is, but it sounds bad to say it that way. But we used to have an alarm Well, we always had an alarm, but we used to recognize the alarm as conviction. So I'll just use the word conviction, okay? I'm not going to go back there either. No history lesson today. Anyway, when you're walking this life and you're trying to, make things work with God, and, you're not perfect, and nobody is, and you shouldn't try to be perfect before you come to know God or before you refresh your life. You should not be worried about that stuff. You should just be worrying about God and you, okay? Well, there's this, I want to say this quickly, I have a side effect from PTSD that kind of broke my filter up here or screwed it up anyway, and my therapist said this. He said, I can't remember his exact words, but this is pretty close. He said that rather than try to stop those words from coming out or those things from coming out of your broken filter, work on getting better, and the filter will fix itself as you get better. And that's true, it has been. But anyway, a lot of things fly out of my mouth that shouldn't be these days, and I absolutely cannot help it. I wish I could just shut up sometimes, but can't. Anyway, a lot of times when you're serving God, or you're searching for God, or you've had God in your life at some point, you feel that conviction. Now, let's explain what that means. I can be cruising along doing my own thing, and I'm just gonna pick something out of the clear blue. I don't know what really, but I'm gonna pick something out of the clear blue and say, okay, let's say I went into a store, not Walmart because it's gross there. No, I like Walmart. I'm just kidding. I went in. Let's say I go into Walmart and I see this really heavy-set girl, and I immediately think, gosh, she's fat. And that's awful, right? Or I look at a hot girl and think, wow, she needs to be my girlfriend, that sets off an alarm. Either one of those. Or anything that you do wrong. Even if it's just sort of wrong. So that sets off my alarm if I do something like that. And when that alarm goes off, I better know the code to turn it off. Because you don't, everybody's going to know. And it's, it brings shame. It brings guilt. But we don't have to feel that guilt. When we feel conviction, that's just God nudging us. That's just God saying, hey, you did that thing. It's not Him condemning us. Conviction is different than condemning. I used to preach a message on that. Maybe I will again someday. But conviction is not condemning. Conviction is just a little nudge to tell you, hey, that thing you did, that was wrong, and I need you to fix that. And that's all it is. We throw on the guilt and shame. But it happens from when we veer off the path and we set off that alarm, it alarms first to us, but eventually that alarm alerts everybody around us and they can tell that we're not doing good. So my thought is, we should always remember that there's a little alarm, both good and bad. There's an alarm that will tell us when we veered off the path. Put your code in and get out. But here's the thing. You have to know the code. If you don't know the code, you're just setting off alarms. And it does show. People do notice. And guilt and shame sets in, all that other kind of stuff. I hope this is making sense to you guys, because it's making really a lot of sense in my head. But maybe it was just for me. Anyway, the alarm goes off. You need to know the code. The way you know the code is you get to know Jesus. Once you do that, you'll know the code. You'll know exactly what to do, and you'll put it in really fast, and you'll be just fine. You go on to the next thing, and you may set it off 1,000 times, but as long as you keep putting in that code, God will help you. God will lift you up and lift your head up, and you'll be, cruising on your way again. Just keep living for Jesus. Just keep doing your thing. Set off the alarm, put your code in, move on. Life is life. I love you guys so much. I was thinking about you all night. Well, all morning anyway. And I hope that maybe someone will get something out of this, and that would be great. If you do, drop me a line and tell me what's up. Love you guys. See you. Bye.